Hello, good evening, and a happy Wednesday. Welcome to Live and Conversation. My name is Daphnée Antoine.
I am Daphnée Camilien. Good evening.
Good evening. Well, welcome. As you all know, every Wednesday, Antoine Camillion and I come live so that we can share information for family, entrepreneur, people in general to thrive. And so we also have guest interview where we share stories about different people who are thriving in the field or who are making an impact in the community. So we want to display them, highlight them, and encourage you. So with that being said, before we start, Attorney Chameleon will go ahead and share our disclosure.
Sure. Um, I am an attorney. Anything I say this evening doesn't enter you, remember the audience, and myself in any type of attorney-client relationship. The information that is being stated tonight is for information purposes only. Daphne Antoine is a financial entrepreneur. Anything she says this evening doesn't enter her any type of fiduciary duty with the people watching in the audience this evening. And the same goes for our guests, in our guests each and every week. Any information, this is only for information purposes only. People should always do their research before they make an informed decision before they commit to anything. Back to you, Daphne.
All right. Thank you, Attorney Chameleon. So as always, our topic this evening, I'm sure you all saw the title. It's all about let's talk about homelessness. And we know this past 3 years has been really challenging for many people. And then so people who could have been in a different financial situation might find themselves unfortunately homeless. And so this is the conversation we are having this evening. And so we encourage you to connect, share, because we're also going to be sharing resources to help either you or someone you know who may be in a situation where you need a little bit of assistance. I know right now everybody or most people need a little bit of assistance, so there's nothing to be ashamed of. um However, we have Attorney Chameleon with us this evening. So before we get into the conversation, let's go at for our legal segment.
Sure. So this evening, I am going to talk about U visas. Before I start talking about U visas, though, I did want to mention that TPS. Currently, there are 16 countries that have been designated for TPS. TPS is temporary protected status. This is designated by the U.S. government to countries that have turmoil, war, natural disasters in their country. It's a status that's given to people who are already in the U.S. It allows them to work and while they are on this temporary status and not be deported as long as they're in a lawful status. So there's been many lawsuits attacking TPS. So I just implore people who, if you are from a country that has been designated for TPS, to go ahead and file TPS. There are deadlines coming up, and to make sure you watch the news and pay attention because there are constant lawsuits and there's constant attempts to end TPS. Should you want to know what's going on, so I would just make sure that people follow up. You can go to USCIS. They always have the latest information as to what's going on with TPS. You go to uscis.gov. You look in the search box, you put TPS. If it's your country like Honduras, you put TPS Honduras, and then you can see what the latest news is, what's going on with TPS. And okay, so back to that, we're going to go back to U visa. We were talking this month about domestic violence, and I'm going to talk a little bit about another type of visa called U visa. Now, the U visa is the U non-immigrant status. That's why it's called U visa, because it's a U non-immigrant status visa. It's a special visa that's set aside for victims of certain crimes who have suffered mental or physical abuse and are helpful to law enforcement or government officials in the investigation or prosecution of the criminal activity. And it was really important. This has been around, I believe, since around 2000, and this was put in place because law enforcement wanted people who were victims of crimes who may not have status in the U.S. to actually report it and not to be afraid, and then also to testify. Many times, people who don't have status are afraid to, set foot in the courthouse because they're afraid it's going to be jeopardized. Their um, status here, and there's many things going on, or they just don't understand the system. Also, so just U visa was a special visa that was set aside for people who help law enforcement. Um, and to be eligible for a U visa, you have to be a victim of a qualifying crime. It's not every crime. I'm going to give you an example of some of the crimes. It's many different crimes, but not every single crime uh, qualifies you for a U visa. You have to have suffered a substantial physical or mental abuse as a result of being a victim of the criminal activity. You have to have information about the criminal activity. You have to have been helpful um, or are being helpful to law enforcement to help with the investigation or the prosecution of the crime. The crime has to have happened in the United States or has to have violated U.S. laws. That's really important. You also have to be admissible into the United States. Uh, some of the crimes that they talk about that you have to have been a victim of is abduction, domestic violence, felonious assault, kidnapping, manslaughter, perjury, prostitution, rape, sexual assault, stalking, and unlawful criminal restraint. There are many more crimes that I didn't name. I just didn't want to name all of them. So there are many, many, many crimes, and you can find the information on USCIS. You can just put in the search box U visa, and it'll have a lot of information on the criteria to get U visa. And there's interesting fact about the U visa. You can also apply for U visa even if you are not in the United States. So let's say you came here on a visitor visa and something really horrible happened to you while you're here, you went back to your country and you're in your country, you can still apply for a U visa. U visas are free, which is great news. The actual U visa application is free. So you could be applying for it in another country. If you are approved, then you would go to the consulate office, the U.S. consulate office in your country, for to start consular processing. Excuse me, but you start the process with USCIS. Um, Another interesting fact about U visa: there's only 10,000 U visas that are granted each year, which may seem like a lot, but it's not. There are more need for U visas than there are actually U visas that are given. Once a U visa has been awarded, then you can start working and you'll be given work authorization. It's not while you're in U visas. If you apply for a U visa, it can take years to be approved, right? But so that means you can't work while you're waiting for it to be approved. But once your U visa is approved, then you will get work authorization, and the U visas are good for 4 years. Um, and you can apply for an extension. Another great thing about a U visa is um, after you've been, so let's say you're granted a U visa in 2022, after the third year of being on a U visa, as long as you fit the criteria, meet like certain requirements, like being in the United States, being good, not having any problems while you're on the U visa as far as criminal activity. They have a criteria as to what is the actual requirements of it. But as long as you met the requirements set out by USCIS, um, and like I said, one of them being that you have to have been in the United States for 3 years while on a U visa, you can then apply for a green card while you're have the U visa status. So it's pretty unique visa. It does take some time, just like the VAWA visa. It is free. So the biggest thing is they're really trying to promote people assisting law enforcement and law enforcement. So just to give you an example, if you assist law enforcement, they would have to, they would fill out a form saying that, you've helped them. And there's certain things that they would say on it, but it's not just saying, oh, I helped law enforcement. There's certain evidence that has to be submitted to USCIS in order for them to see how you've helped law enforcement. So that's it. Back to you. Daphne, you're on mute.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Attorney Chameleon. I was muted. I apologize for that. Thank you for sharing this great information. As always, it's important for people to be informed so that the human rights are not basically uh, infringed upon, because people typically do not want to contact law enforcement when something happened with respect to a crime. And then so by having that option and knowing the option
Mm-hmm.
to basically be able to get assistance that way is certainly important. And then so again, welcome to all of you joining us live. Thank you. This is Live in Conversation. My name is Daphnée Antoine, and this is Attorney Chameleon, sharing information, helping family thrive. And so, if you or anyone you may know have any question with respect to any immigration question, legal question, you can always reach out to Tony Chameleon at 847-410-9022. 847-410-9022. Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
847-410-9022. Yep.
9022.
Mm-hmm.
And the website is chameleonlaw.com.
Mm-hmm.
I usually share one or two resources before bringing in our guests this evening. So it's gonna be really quick because I do want to have as much time with our guests this evening as possible. So we are talking about an issue that is affecting a lot of places, a lot of communities, many different states, and it's, I guess, it's a problem. Okay, and then so with that being said, I recently came across this resource. It's from MIT, and it's a living wage calculator. So it basically tells you how much money you should be making based on your family size, um,
Oh.
to have a living wage. Okay, and I found it was, and it's from MIT. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
they put this resource together. So I'm going to go to the, just so we can have, just so this conversation can make sense, um to see why so many people are going through this issue. So let me go ahead and share my screen so I can show it to you all. And I'm definitely have going to have some questions for our guests this evening in respect to it. So this is living wage. I'm getting a feedback. This is living wage that MIT.edu. And then so you are able to select any county. Okay, yeah, yes, okay. Any county, any state that you live in, and then they will tell you exactly how much you should earn if you want to have a living wage. And then so they also tell you what the poverty wage is and what is the minimum wage. And so per this calculator, if you are one individual to have a living wage, to live I guess affordably or comfortably, you have to make at least $36 an hour.
Wait, so that's with one child?
No, no, just one adult. No,
No,
yeah, one child. I'm sorry, one
yeah.
child. Yeah, one child. So no children, you have to make at least $19. Okay, that's the living wage. So poverty wage is 619. Minimum wage is $12. This is, I believe, 2019. Yeah, so this is 2019. I think Chicago did increase the wage to $15.
Wait, but you know what
Not
36?
not everyone makes that. Yeah, go ahead.
So let's just take the one adult who has one child, right?
Mm-hmm.
For a living wage, that $36 an hour for that person who works full time
One
is,
child.
for one child. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, is $74,000 a year.
Yeah, and it shows it right here too.
Oh, okay,
Yep,
okay.
it shows it right there. And then
Wow.
so, exactly. So this is why we're having this conversation to see. I mean, Obviously when it comes to homelessness, the in some cases there are mental health issue. There could be different different reason as to why someone become homeless. But then we also have to look at the fact that the living wage is $74,000. Most people do not wake up one day and say, I want to be homeless.
No.
People find themselves in these situations uh, because of various reasons, and one being definitely people not being able to make enough. So with that being said, I do want to stop it right here because I want to bring our guests into the conversation. And so if you want to see exactly based on where you live, how much money you should earn to live comfortably, to be able to provide for yourself and for your family. So the calculator is livingwage.mit.edu, and you select where you live, or your zip code or county, and it's gonna give you exactly how much you should earn. And then this was for Cook County. All right.
Which is the Chicagoland area.
Yes,
So people,
Chicagoland area.
yeah, wow.
Yes, yes. So this is the truth. So now let's bring our guests to the conversation. It is a pleasure to have with me this evening Miss Clever Kenese. She is a singer songwriter. She is also a nursing school student, as well as the founder of a non for profit organization helping families, veterans, to have better resources to be able to help them thrive. So that being said, welcome, Miss Clever Kenese. Hello, hello, how are you? And you are muted.
You're muted, so we
You
can't
have a
hear you.
beautiful smile though. You're beautiful, but you're muted.
Okay, there we go. All good now?
You
Yes.
are all
Can you
good.
guys hear me?
We
Okay,
see
good.
you.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Okay, so I'm gonna have you go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience this evening.
Um,
Let us know who is Clever.
okay, well, Clever Kenese is a student, nursing student. I'm going to school to be a pediatric nurse practitioner. And as you stated before, I am the founder, along with my godmother, Rosalind Walk. We founded this nonprofit organization to help the homeless and low income communities and veterans as well. We want to empower our people and we want to support our people and we want to be that bridge between homelessness or I guess you could say life and death, because sometimes when people don't have a place to live they experience a lot of hardships and sometimes it includes death.
Yes. All right, all right. So let's jump right into the conversation. So you saw the calculator that I was showing to the audience this evening
Yes,
about
I did.
the living wage calculator. Was that something that maybe you had seen before? And what is your thoughts in regard to it?
When I seen that, I didn't know that because I thought about my mother and thought about other women that have multiple kids that don't even make that have more than one child that don't even make uh $74,000, and I was just like, that's just very um and unrealistic. It's not right.
And so with Servya, so give us a little bit of background. So what prompted you to found Servya?
Okay, so I remember during the pandemic, I started to notice the homeless people. I know that they're always there, and I was that person. If I had something to give in the car, or I would give them something. But then I started to see that like a dollar is not going to do anything. So every time somebody asked me for money, I would give them $5. And then I got to the point where I was like, okay, I don't think this $5 is doing anything. We need something bigger and better. We need to do something to get these people off the streets and to get them back into society. And so that's when me and my godmother, we partnered up, and we decided that we were going to make handmade jewelry in order to raise funds and sell things in order to give back to the community, and partner up with other nonprofit organizations such as the United Human Services Center. We partner up with them and we support them and we help them with the food pantry and everything that they have going on, agriculture and farming. And in partnership with them, we have been given 22 vacant lots on the south side of Chicago, and we want to build our own homeless shelters. We want to, rehabilitate these people, empower these people, get them everything that they need so that they can be on their own um, 2 feet. We want to give them the resources that we need. So that's why we want to build a homeless shelter, our own homeless shelters.
Yes.
You said you were given 22 lots, so 22 lots to build on.
Yes, 22 lots. Yes, to build. And we also have agriculture and farming there right now, currently, where we grow our own food. But we can build homes and buildings there for people. We just need the funding to do that.
Wow.
And so you started 2019?
Yes, this has
Yeah.
been an idea since 2019, but it just started. We put everything into place about like 6 months ago, getting everything together. But as far as the United Human Services Center, they've been around for a really long time. I think about like 20 years. They've been around for a long time.
And then so which area specifically do you service?
All areas, all communities, all people. We're not limited.
And then so I noticed that I'm sorry. I have Hello. Am I okay, Daphnée? Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So with respect to like what you saw 2019 and how things are right now, because I know when I was prior to I would say 2019, I haven't been going a lot to the lakeshore area, and then what I've seen recently is a lot of now tents in throughout the lakeshore area. And then so what have you seen with respect to from 2019 and now? Is there a rise in homelessness due to, and I'm sure the answer is yes, but then I would just like to know your own experience.
Yes, I actually did the research, and about like 326,000 people experienced homelessness due to the pandemic. So yeah, it is increasing, and there's more tents more than ever. And we were, talking about it. The park on Toohey in Chicago, near Rogers Park and Clark, it's
Yes.
just overwhelming with tents to where people can't even go enjoy the park. So it's, something needs to be done.
Yes, I know because like I've been reading about the whole situation with the Toei Park, whereas obviously people need some place to stay, so people gonna find some place to stay, and then so we cannot judge anyone on where they decide to live. But then I think the controversy in the Rogers Park community is that the park should be accessible to children for services. I know they had to close the camp for the summer because of safety concerns. And then so like how do we balance kind of having like a facility for community use being shut down and then still be able to say, okay, people need help. And then so kind of like part of your organization, how how do you bridge that?
Yeah, so we provide homeless to temporary shelter. So if somebody needs a place to stay, we'll give them a hotel, and we'll also send them to our other partners. We have partners that have their own homeless shelters that we can send them to, if they're not already filled up. And that's another thing. Some of these
Yes.
places are already full. The best that we can do right now is make them comfortable. The winter's coming up. Some of them have
Yes.
ripped tents. They're going to be outside if there's no place for them to go. So what we're doing is we're getting them tents, we're getting them blankets, we're getting them clothes, we're getting them whatever they need so that they could survive the winter, because we're it's full. Some places are full, so that the best we can do right now is just you know um preserve them, I guess. I don't know if that's a good word to
Yes.
use,
Yeah, I
but
mean, I
yeah.
understand.
Have you seen a correlation? I know you might not know this, you may or may not know this, but there's been probably within the last couple of years, maybe 10, 15 years, there's been a lot of mental health institutions that have been shut down. And
Yeah.
do you see that as a need as well, or any kind of correlation with that in homelessness? Are there lots of people who are mentally ill that need assistance? And yeah.
Absolutely. There's people that are on drugs, people that feel alone, that don't have family, that are all by themselves, people that, just need mental health. Like, they need to be in a mental facility rather than a homeless shelter. And that's just kind of like the unique thing about what we are trying to do as far as, building the homeless shelters that we're going to be building. We want to have like CNAs there. We want nurses there. We want doctors there, because these are people that need help. They don't need a place to stay. Majority of them need help.
And so how can someone partner with you right now in what you are trying to accomplish?
Yeah,
What
that's
kind
a
of
good way.
help do you need?
Yeah, that's a good
Well,
question.
right now we need grants because we really need a building. I think that's our big goal, is to get these buildings built on the south side of Chicago. We need grants, we need volunteers, we need like the aldermen to, give us the okay to do this. They've given us lots, but we also need them to give us funding as well too, because they can give us the lots, but if we don't have the money to build the building, we can't really do much. And what we're doing right now is okay for the moment, but long term, we're going to need much more than what we're raising.
Yeah.
Do you have so you need grants, but at the same time, for basic needs, like do you have anything like because I can imagine there's probably just basic needs that need to be done, maybe that each person, whether from food or a
Yeah.
toothbrush or a towel or a blanket. Is there, donations, GoFundMe,
Yes,
anything? Go ahead.
yes, we do have a GoFundMe. We are writing grants and sending them out to different people, because we do need lots of tents, we need blankets, we need socks, we need clothes, and we also need codes and things like that that they would need to make it through the winter. And then from there, we'll see what else that we can do for them. Um, yeah.
So right now I'm putting up your website, Servya.org, so people can see exactly what we are talking about,
Okay.
the work that you are doing. I mean,
How many do you have an estimate of how many coats you would need?
I want to say
It's
about.
putting you on the spot. So sorry.
I know, right? Okay, we would. Okay, so we went to go see these individuals, and I would say it was about over. We'll need about over 50 coats, but to be on the safe side, about 100, just in the area that I'm speaking of. But there's probably more. So um, I would say over 100. Let me just say that over 100, because there's different communities and locations than what I'm talking about that do need coats. But we don't want to just be a blessing to just a few people. We want to be
Since the
a blessing
pandemic
to
in
different
2020, many people have been left.
communities. Not just the Chicagoland area, but also the suburbs as well too. Maybe because there's people that are homeless as well here. Maybe not as much as in Chicago, but different places but not as much as Chicago, but there's still people that are home in Mundelein or the north suburbs, Waukegan, all over the Chicagoland area.
And
I
I
hope
think,
that answers your question.
yes,
oh yeah, oh yeah.
yes.
I was just saying, so if people, do you take brand new coats? Do you take gently used coats? Are you guys doing any type of coat drive, or is just funding now and you guys will take care of the coats?
Right. either both of those work, but we want to give them brand new coats. So we're not gonna be, you know, picky. If we can get them used, gently used items, that's perfectly fine too. It's better than nothing. But we would like to get them new coats,
Okay.
new tents, all of that, which is what we're currently doing. But we need more.
You mentioned you have the GoFundMe. Is that under the donate, or is it a different page
Um,
as well?
the GoFundMe is on our Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
And you can
Okay.
also contribute on our website as well too. But the GoFundMe is on Servya Global Services on Facebook.
And I just want to correct. I think it's we're missing the R in your website. We're the ones that put that out there, not you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh
Okay,
We're,
yeah.
that's me. I'm
we're
sorry.
missing the R. No, you're fine.
Mhm.
Just in case anybody's like looking at it and trying to get on the website as they talk. But that's where you can donate the 10, 25, perfect, or you can customize. So any amount helps. Any amount
Yeah.
helps. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there's and we can talk off air. I'm sure there's lots of resources out there.
Yeah.
If in Chicago is unique, I think in the fact that there are so many resources that I mean, there's not enough, but like there is like if there's people who are facing homelessness, there I know there are tons of resources. But as far as like they may be getting evicted, because that's happened to a lot of people too, especially during COVID-19, and maybe they weren't able to pay because they lost a job, and then now everything is kind of coming to a head. People are getting evicted and they don't know what to do. So for those people, for sure, the city of Chicago has resources. But for the people who are already homeless, who might not be watching this Facebook live, um, or if someone knows someone that's homeless, would you advise them to what would they do? Like if they wanted to help someone or they saw someone like every, how you might see somebody at this in front of the grocery store every Tuesday, and you're like,
Hmm.
I want to do something for that person. What would you recommend?
So you're saying that if you see like a regular, individual, you're going to the store
Or
and
you
you
may
see,
know someone. You may know
or you
someone
may,
that's homeless.
they can contact us. Our phone number is there, and we can do what we can to help them. We can
Mhm.
use our resources. Yeah, that's what they can do. Um, but if they want to do it on their own, they can ask the individual what do they need, and I'm sure the person will tell them what they need, and of course send them to Servya Global Services, and we'll do the best that we can to help them.
And do you find that people don't are there people who don't want to be placed anywhere for
Well,
various reasons? Go ahead.
when I spoke to a few, they all seemed to want to be placed somewhere, but some of them said they ran into issues of being kicked out due to mental issues. Like I
Mm.
said, most of them are on drugs, and they can't function in society or in places with other people. So they get kicked back out into the street because they're not following the rules of the building or facility that they're staying at.
Okay. Yeah, it's that's heartbreaking.
I know.
Yeah.
So this is the GoFundMe page right now that I'm showing. So
Yes.
if anyone who's watching right now want to be able to be part of the solution to help, go ahead and donate, share. Because at the end of the day, I think what my question to you is, sometime someone may want to be able to give, but then
Yeah.
they don't have funds to give. And then
Hmm.
so what different ways that someone can contribute to helping basically a homeless person or helping your organization um, provide more resources, help with what you are doing? What are some ways that they can help?
Well, they can help with volunteering. So a way that we raise funds is by selling our handmade jewelry, our refurbished jewelry, and our luxury purses and jewelry. So they can help us by getting these things so that we can have money to give to these people to buy the tents, to buy the coats, to buy the blankets. to buy the tissue. I recently spoke to the owner of this new place. It's called True Save in Mundelein, and that's where we got our tents. And they also had like commodes, travel camp commodes. So rather than people like using the bathroom in the bushes and things like that, they can have a community like it's just the best that we can do. I think it's gonna take a lot of us. I feel like I went off topic of what you asked me.
No, no.
Yeah, so we want to if we can't get them to the facilities and the places that we need them to be until we're able to do what we can do, which is rehabilitate these people. At least we can make them comfortable. Get them because I don't know if the picture's up there, but one of the tents was like broken up, full of stuff, and it's just like at least if you're going to be outside and in a tent, at least be comfortable. At least have a place where you can use the bathroom. At least have a blanket, a nice tent that the air is not going to be, going through. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
And
yeah.
I know the concern right now is the winter is near. Winter
Yeah,
is slowly approaching, and we're in
yeah.
Chicago. We've had a little bit of winter weather
The worst
already.
winter. The worst. Yes, it did snow here. It did.
Already.
Yes,
Okay. And so
a
it's
little
important
bit.
that we put this topic front and center in our mind to see how we can help our neighbors, because at the end of the day, regardless of where we live, a human being is your neighbor regardless of location. And so
Mhm.
we are each other's neighbor. Let's put it in the front of our minds, even if it's doing one blessing bag, one pair of coat, one pair of gloves, one hat or scarf, whatever it is. You can always reach out to Clever. Clever, let us know, how can people contact you?
Oh yeah.
They can call me personally, or they can visit our website and call our business number. They can reach out to me on Facebook. I'm very open. You don't have to be formal when you need help with me. Wherever you see me and you need help, let me know.
Let me edit that again. So Clever Servya. Okay.
Yep, you can visit our website. You can email us as well, empoweringminds@servia.org. We check that every day.
Empowering Minds
Yes,
at
empowering minds.
Servya.org.
Yes, that's our email.
This is off topic, but you have a great name.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And the work that you're doing definitely is a testimony, I guess, to the name.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes.
And then so off topic, basically the way Clever and I met, I was in the Rogers Park area by the lake where there was an event doing at a church. And so Clever was there with her beautiful jewelry. Not only was she obviously selling the jewelry to help with her organization, but she was teaching young girls about how to make jewelry. And my daughter made those
A
beautiful
break?
bracelets. And so talk to yes, I know she loved the bracelet. So talk to us about how do you integrate maybe like youth, the younger generation, to understand stewardship, to understand being be able to take care of their neighbors. So how do you do? Is that something that your organization does?
Yeah, it is something that we do, and it all starts by like being an example. Kids don't listen to what you say; they watch what you do. So
Yeah.
anytime that we are around kids, we have to be that example. What we have to be that example to give, to share, that kind of thing. And then also we do for the youth, we do tutoring and homework help. And then we also kind of like empower them. We have a YouTube channel where we just like teach them about things that are, you know, about this world. I don't know how to really say it because it's on my other channel, but as far as Servya Global Services go, we're gonna have segments where we teach kids about, you know, sharing good things.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't
Good
think
morals, good morals. Yes, it's
yeah,
okay.
good morals.
Good morals.
You know, yeah, so empowering the kids, teaching the kids, educating the kids on, how to survive in today's society. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing. Listen to your parents. You don't have to spend time on social media. You don't have to look like every other girl on Instagram. Listen to your parents when they speak. Things like that. That's things that we're going to be bringing to the table for Servya Global Services on our YouTube channel.
Awesome, awesome. Any final questions, Attorney Camilien?
No, just words of encouragement to keep up the good
Yeah.
work. You're doing great work out there. And to people to support you, donate to the GoFundMe, volunteer your time if you can, share this video, like it to your network so that people can see it because maybe you can't donate, but someone who sees it can. They can reach out to her website. It's servya.org, servya.org. Check it out.
Yes, indeed. And so Thanksgiving is on the corner. If you are thankful for everything that you have and you want to bless someone, connect with Clever. And also, maybe you are a church leader and you are looking to partner up with an organization to basically help with what they're doing. That's an option as well. And then so it's good to talk and to have this conversation, but then let us also go ahead and connect and help each other with the different missions and visions that we have for our community. Any last word, Clever?
I just want to say thank you for having me on this show and giving me the platform and opportunity to just, talk about what we're doing and how we all, it takes, I don't know the quote, but it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to support each other. We have to help our communities. Nobody's going to do it for us. We have to help our people, the minorities, the low income families that are not making 74K a year
Yes.
that are struggling. So if somebody calls us up and they're like, I need help, I can't pay my rent this month, we want to be that blessing. Or I need help, I need to pay that phone bill. We want to be that blessing too. And I encourage everybody that's watching this to, be of service if you can. Don't go broke trying to help somebody, but if you know that you can, and God puts it in your heart to help somebody else, do it because you'll be rewarded greater. It's a selfless thing that you're doing by helping other people.
All right, all right. Well, thank you. Once again, Clever, Attorney Camillen, thank you always for sharing your knowledge with us, letting us know about you non-immigrant visa. And then so if you or someone you know, and also Attorney Camillen spoke earlier about CPS. And so many countries are designated CPS right now. And I'm sure some more will be added. So if you or someone you know need to file your TPS application. Attorney Camillion, for Haiti, the deadline is February, right?
Right, February 2023. But it is taking so long to go through. People should be doing it now.
Yeah. So go ahead and apply for your temporary protected status if that's something that you need to do, or if you know anyone who needs to do it, go ahead and encourage them. If you need help with it, Attorney Camillion can assist you with that as well. And when I say assist, you all understand what I mean by that. The call Attorney Chameleon. You get a free consultation, 15-minute consultation at 847-410-9022. 847-410-9022. Again, thank you all once again for joining us live. Thank you, Clever, for what you are doing and for being on our show to advocate for people who need some. I mean, I don't want to say to be someone to be their voice because they have their own voice, but then it's also good that we echo what they need.
Right.
um and so let us all continue to do that. Have a great evening. We'll see you all soon. Bye for now.
All
Thank
right.
you, Clever.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
Let's
you.
Clever stay on.
Okay.